so I can share it. So we're live on social now in three different places.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. So people can see us right now.
Yep. People can see us, hear us.
Wake up and start the morning.
Morning.
Okay, it shows that we're live under the events tab. Why is it not?
I believe in you, Scotty.
My screen says that we're live.
Oh, there it is right there. There it is right there. Okay. You're waving, baby. You're waving. Group. We're going to share to a group. We're going to share this. There we go. Share. All right. Let's go live on this one. Start that music, Devin.
You ready? Hold on one
Yep,
second.
do it.
I got to find my screen.
That is cool.
There you go. Cool. All right, y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
So,
take it from the top.
Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Record in the cloud. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the MLO live show. Man, I'm here with all my friends like every morning, 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday at MLO live show. So excited to have you guys here. I see some new faces coming in hot. I know it's just before the holiday, so everybody, if you're heading out today after the show for the amazing 4th of July weekend, please be safe. Keep all your fingers and toes and face away from all the firecrackers, right? And man, I got Coach Rick on today, and I got Mike Cardassia, and I got Devin Dubuque. Like, what is going on today?
Let's go.
What a crew!
Like
the old man and the kids.
I just gotta do that, man. It's just a little bit of jive there. So, Coach Rick, you're gonna talk about BDR, and we got Mike as Mike. You're BDR, right?
That's right.
Development rep, BDR. So you're doing the things, making the money moves, and I think a lot of people need to hear about this. I think that this is a huge topic where you're all sales, right? I mean, let's just get right to the point. And Coach Rick, I'll let you introduce yourself, Coach Rick, and and Mike.
Rick Koenig, man. I've been in this business about 32 years, and over the last few years, the business development rep really has become a big part of a lot of companies and a lot of top producers' business. And, through the coaching that I've received, coaching that we've been able to do.
Hold on. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
My audio.
But okay.
I can't hear anything
either. Okay.
I thought it was mine as well. I was touching everything on my computer.
All right. Q, can you hear us?
You got us now?
Yeah, I think they're on another platform. So they
Hold on. We should be. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I know what it is. I had my audio muted, so I apologize. So now you guys are good. All right, cool.
It looked like you guys were having fun.
So we were having fun. It was just the four of us friends.
That was too funny, man. That was too funny. We were having so much fun. So the people that are just coming in, they have no idea what we're laughing about. They're like,
and that's all I have to say about that, right?
Okay, that's all I have to say about that. So yeah, I guess I can't mute myself when I'm starting a show. So techno recno. So go Trick, start over. Like we were trying to read lips, but we heard you. Nobody else did.
Yeah, people were going into the weekend thinking, "Wow, I haven't even drank yet. I'm not hearing things." These guys are having fun. So we were talking about business development reps today, and we got Mike Cardassia here, who is a business development rep. In all the years I was in the business as a manager, as a recruiter, as everything that we've done, you've always got those people that are the superstars. But what happens with the people that only have a couple of deals? They work, they put a lot of hours in. The referrals just aren't coming the way they want them to. They're not building the relationships they want. And they get a little bit tired and depressed, and they think, man, this thing isn't for me. But technically, these guys are excellent. These men and women, they know their loan products. They know how to utilize the systems. They love talking to the clients. They love getting people pre-approved, and they love closing deals. how do we marry these two together? So you take somebody like a Mike C, and Mikey is just amazing. He's been a coach, a recruiter. He's been a loan officer. And Mike knows that his greatest asset to himself is himself. And all he needs to do is go out and meet with people. So, what does a business development rep do? And I'm going to try to share this screen as quickly as possible.
All right.
For me.
It's all good,
And
man. And I'll make sure everybody can see it. So
share that.
I'll make sure it should share right up in there. So
it talks about,
oops.
What does a business development rep do? You not seeing it?
No, not yet. Oh, here we go. Add to stage. There we go. All right, there we go. Boom. Got
There
it.
we go.
It's just a little slow. So a business development rep, let's go over does not. They do not originate the loan or take the loan application, which means technically they don't have to be licensed if they're not going to talk about loans, talk about interest rates. And a lot of times a business development rep doesn't even need to know the loan products inside and out. I mean, you got to know what kind of products you have. You're going to be talking to realtors. You're going to be talking to, attorneys and all kinds of other people to drive business in. So take somebody like Mike that's been in the recruiting side for coaching and doing coaching and all the things that he's done. He knows loan products, but it's not his specialty. And jumping into Encompass or Arrive or whatever system you use, that's not his thing. Mike's thing is talking to people and bringing business in. And we'll talk about some of the really cool stuff he does with his groups that he's put together. Mm-hmm. So your goal as a DBR is drive as much business to the team as possible, build really strong relationships with real estate agents, businesses, other types of contacts that can refer to you. You have other loan officers, you have credit unions, you have affinity relationships you can build with businesses. You can deal with attorneys. We have divorce specialists on here before. You can build a relationship with any of those people, and you can do it through all different types of marketing and stuff like that. Now, when I put this down, of course, you can't see what I'm showing, but I'm going to show another thing. I'm going to show the metrics real quick, and then we'll jump into Mike and find out the kind of stuff that Mike does.
Sweet.
And so we will share that.
There we go.
So what are the metrics that a BDR really needs to do? It says 2 to 3 realtor or company meetings a day. That's 8 meetings a week. Now, if you're not actually originating the loan, you're not having to get into the files, you've got plenty of time to do 2 to 3 meetings a day. Yep. 8 a week is the real goal. Yeah. It says you need to make 30 calls a day, about 150 calls a week. If you can get at least 13 out of those 30 to talk to you, chances are you're going to have some real success. Right Mike, now,
Mike, are you seeing that many, or are you seeing more talk tos than that?
I'm seeing about that many. Yeah, I made about 50 calls yesterday. What's funny to me is I often hear from people that like agents don't answer the phone. Yesterday, I called 47 agents and I spoke to 16.
Wow, okay.
I have 3 appointments today. So in my case, at least, I mean, most are picking up the phone, and I would say for 30 reach outs, that's fairly average. Yeah.
It's awesome. Cool. So that's that's a great percentage. I mean, I typically see 20-25%. And do you get callbacks? Like when you're making the calls, do you get callbacks too? Because like, hey, who's this? I don't know who you are.
I do. I personally leave a voicemail. The last appointment that I booked was from somebody that called me back from my voicemail and was like, hey, I got your message. I'd love to meet. And we just set something up. So yes. Yeah. I leave voicemails, and I do occasionally get callbacks. Yeah.
Cool. And Sharon's asking, what are you using for a dialer? Are you using a power dialer or just one-on-one?
I am not yet. I know that we have one at Premier. I'm anxious to get into and start using. The team's been talking to me about, but I started off a little old school, and I've just been manually cranking out the dials.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. We'll fix that. Even the old man here has gotten onto the system and
yeah, we got to put you on, Mike.
Yeah. So those of you out there looking, we've built our own in Go High Level, and Devin's been a big part of building it. And so some of the people on our IT team And I think the name of the dialer inside of it is called Wave.
The Wave
And-
dialer.
Wave dialer. It's really good. So if you're trying to make all these calls and you want to start tracking them, you can even take the notes from the meeting, copy them, and post them into each person's thing. So AI will build it out for you. That's really a big thing, because if you're talking to people, you have 16 talk tos. It's hard to remember everything you said to everybody.
Yeah.
So, and once I stop sharing the screen, I think I can drop this into the chat over here. You can see the other things. The thank you notes are huge. I think we had somebody talking about this week. It says 15. I'm bad. I do 5 a week personally, still to this day. Talks about your social media posting and network events. And this is where Mike is extremely strong with what he's built up down in his area. Mike, tell us about what you're doing for networking and how you're bringing people in.
Sick, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So I love networking. I found that before I even really dove into the mortgage industry, I was really lucky that I got very involved in meetups like meetup.com. So when I first moved to St. Pete, I started attending meetups like the Young Professionals group, the New to Town group, different groups like that to make friends, and ultimately ended up starting my own meetup. So I run a group called Life in the 727. If you want a visual of what I'm talking about, you can just Google the group or look us up on Instagram. It's Life in the 727. That's like our area code out here. So on a weekly basis, I put together happy hours, beach parties. We just had an ice cream social. We all met up at the ice cream shop down the street, like in the middle of the day, and got together with karaoke. I have a small team of volunteer hosts that help me do these events, which is how we're so consistent. It's not like I'm doing all this by myself now, which has allowed us to build such a powerful, consistent, strong, growing community that it's turned into the best friendships of my life. It's turned into dozens of yearly referrals. Like I counted, I think I referred out 14 deals to real estate agents last year from the group, and introducing them to other agents in the area. Yeah, so that's huge. And more so than anything else, it's one of my ins to get with realtors in the local area. Because it's a hyper localized meetup group, it's not a great way for me to introduce myself to agents like in Naples, Florida, or in Georgia or elsewhere. But at least in my town here in St. Petersburg, even within Tampa Bay, it's become my go-to, what I call my UVA, my ultimate value asset. So when I reach out to an agent and say, hey, Devin, I keep hearing great things about you. I run one of the biggest meetup groups. We have dozens of locals that come out every week. I'd love to see if maybe we could get you involved and introduce you to some cool people. Is that fun to set up a quick 15-minute phone call, right? Something like along that nature is what I would do, Devin. And I book a lot of local appointments that way, whether they ever join the group or not. So I appreciate that, Rick. It's been super fun, man. Great friendships, referrals. I use it to land referral partner appointments. And it's just been really fun along the way as well, right? And I find when you have fun doing something, when you enjoy the process, when you look forward to it, suddenly you don't need as much discipline and motivation, right? Like I love hanging out with Scotty, Rick, and Devin. I didn't have to get like motivated to join y'all today. I looked forward to it. I enjoy the meetup, right? So for me, I've been consistent doing this for 5 years because I love doing it. And I'm all about doing things that make this business more fun, more consistent, sustainable. And for me, for some people, that's social media. For some people, that's going to networking events. For me, that's hosting my own. So I'm very fortunate that I found something I enjoy to do that also works really effectively in bringing in more business,
And Jamal's saying great class ideas. My wife's a great BDR. She has an amazing business development rep. And then he's like, he says, we teach classes inside luxury homes. Get this. We teach classes inside luxury homes and host speed networking events. What?
Love that.
Very cool. Good ideas.
Me, Jamal, I'd love to talk to you about having you on class and having you talk about that. I think all of us would, because we set our own loan size, right? If we're doing that, we're doing luxury homes, we're doing price, whatever price we want. We do the events there. We teach people in those homes. Who are we going to attract? Luxury home buyers, right? Luxury home agents. So, hey, Mike, I got a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
you host this event, Life in the 727. Do you think you could have the similar results just going to events that somebody else hosts on a consistent, persistent basis?
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you asking that. I always mean to introduce that concept, is that you don't actually have to host the event. There's a lot of authority that comes with hosting an event, a party, a show, a podcast, an event. Gary Vaynerchuk, who I love, calls that the high school party effect. If you're the guy or the gal that hosts the show, you're like the coolest person in the world, right? At least for that weekend. So there's definitely something to being the host, but no, you certainly do not. I have a lot of friends that may be real estate agents, financial advisors. Get this. I have a friend of mine, Taylor, that's into network marketing. Like he is partnered with a company that sells supplements and things like that, right? And dude, he's recruited over a dozen people to his downline. He sells us all supplements, including me, right? We all love him. He's built this massive, like, multi-level marketing business from just attending Life in the 727, right? Just plugging himself into my group and being friendly and networking and doing the song and dance, right? Just showing up consistently and being an awesome guy. Yeah. He's picked up a lot of clients and has even built his sales team through showing up to the events. So no, you don't actually have to host events. If you're going and just implementing proper networking strategies and meeting with people, that will be really successful too.
Yeah. Just having clothing on that says who you are and what you do for a living is going to spark conversations about real estate, right?
Oh, yeah. Shamelessly self-promote. That's what one of my favorite old managers used to say. Shamelessly self-promote. So,
yeah.
With it, what's really cool about what Mike does is that's just half of the deal now. So with a BDR, the most important part can be the back half. Because if Mike's out there, he's generating referrals, he's got people coming in, he needs a partner that he can trust. And Mike's got that partner he can trust over here at Premier. We've hooked him up with a friend of ours, Colby Rex out of Colorado. He's a new dad for the third time just yesterday or the morning before. So he's a little bit busy this morning. He couldn't join us, but unless he's on here and I didn't see him. But, Colby he rounds out the rest of that team because now Mike has somebody that when he gets the lead, he picks it up, he does the introduction, Colby jumps in, takes over, and he takes that loan, from start to finish. And Mike's able to stay out of the files. Mike, whatever the issue is, it's Colby, his assistant, and the processor's job to get it figured out. And that's what's hard to find. So when I started off, I don't remember if it's when they could hear us or not hear us, if you're one of those loan officers that you can just make it rain, but you hate doing the deals, you might need to look at splitting up your deal, doing more volume, maybe taking a lower cut so that you can have a real business or a loan officer assistant who's licensed take those deals for you. But maybe you're that loan officer out there that's just struggling. The last 4 years have been tough. And we saw some numbers yesterday that were just crazy about what percentage of the industry is closing less than 3 loans a month. It's like 65% of the industry is closing less than 3 loans a month, which is just nuts. But if you can take somebody and you're like Mike and you can bring in 6, 8, 10, 12 leads, but you can't handle them, get a business or get a loan officer assistant. So if you're that loan officer assistant or a loan officer out there that's doing 1 deal a month and you're just dying and you want to make more money, maybe you need to look at being somebody else's teammate in LOA. Do 6 or 8 deals a month. Get a. In most cases, we recommend paying a salary. Get a salary plus some override. And if you still bring in your 1 deal a month or 2 some months, get paid a little extra on those. So if you've never thought about being a teammate with somebody, now's the time. And if somebody wants to talk to me, Scotty, they know how to get a hold of me, or they can find me in LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
We can talk to them about how to do something like that and how to set their team up.
Yep.
Cool. And if anything you post, hey Rick, if you want to post anything in the link there inside of StreamYard, I can share it on Zoom. So whatever, if you have a link or something,
Yeah, a couple things too, real quick, Coach. We had somebody offline ask for the presentation deck. So if you drop that in there so we can put it out on Zoom, that'd be great. And then Pedro wants to know, does the BDR need to know all the guidelines and programs? And if not, how do you handle those questions when they pop up?
Awesome question. In my case, no, not at all. It actually really hardly ever comes up. And as they do, I would get that person, lead, realtor, connected with my loan partner. I'm just like, hey, awesome question. Kobe's a wizard with that stuff. Let me get you connected with him. Like, that's his seat on the bus. You know, previously I worked with my mom. So I always positioned it as, hey, my mom's the senior loan consultant on the team, my business partner. Hey, awesome questions. You know, she's really the best person to chat with you about that. And it's never been weird. I know a lot of us feel like this imposter syndrome, especially like maybe if you're new getting into the business, getting asked a question that you don't know the answer to can feel incredibly scary in the moment. And we're often told just to like say, hey, no big deal. I'll figure it out for you. Let me get back to you in an hour. Or, hey, let me connect you with so-and-so on my team. Guys, it works. I've done this hundreds of times and I've never been challenged on it. I've never like lost a relationship. I've never gotten bad feedback or input. People respect that there's different roles on the team, right? So in my case, awesome question, Pedro. Like if I was your BDR, let's just say, for example, and I was chatting with Rick and he asked me about a guideline. Hey, awesome question. That's totally Pedro's wheelhouse. Would you mind if I got back to you or could connect you guys by the end of the day? Would that be all right? Awesome, man. Hey, is there anybody else we can help? You know, like, and just keep it going.
What? You just asked again. Like, who else? Who else can we help? I love it. That's awesome.
100%.
Go ahead, Devin.
Oh, we just got another one in there. How do BDRs typically get paid?
BDRs can get paid. I've seen that's an interesting question because
couple different ways.
Who was that? Oh, was that you, Rick? Oh,
yes.
There's a few. Ways, there's definitely. I've seen a BDR get paid multiple different ways. I've seen a larger salary and small commission bonuses. You know, like a 60, 70K salary and small bonuses. I've seen it be a small base pay, like $2-3 grand a month, and a larger comp plan. And then I've also seen like a straight 50 basis point, 40, 50, 60 basis point comp plan for bringing in deals and letting the team take that from finish to close. So there's multiple ways to peel the orange here, if you will. I can't say there's a right or a wrong. You'll see different companies that do it differently. Now, in my opinion, this is a performance-based role, right? This is a sales role. This is a lead generating, marketing, networking sales role. And I prefer to get paid based off performance. So I'm one to opt in. And if I were you hiring a BDR, I would be putting them on like a 50 basis point plan.
Cool. Excellent.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. You know, typically the BDR is going to be making basis points in our world, and then the loan officer assistant, we think it's best to set up on a salary and a smaller bonus. That way, if the BDR really takes off like it should, you can bring that second loan officer assistant in and not have to worry about, oh my gosh, I'm going to cut my current one's pay in half and ask them to help them grow. That's not going to work out too well in most cases. So, you know, if you can pay them a salary plus a little override, and it comes out of your share. So if you're one of those loan officers making 100, 125 basis points or somewhere in there, you need to know how to cut that mix up. Most of your companies can do it, but again, if they want to sit down, you know, I can always talk to people, help them with how to set that up and get your team going. You know, we know a loan officer who owns her own company up in the Baltimore, Maryland area. And this woman, I think 1 month this year, she closed 75 loans. Ooh. She had 4 different licensed loan officer assistants. Each one of them had a processor, and each one of them had an assistant. And she's built to that level, you know, over the last 7-8 years. You know, it didn't start out that way. It started off with her doing everything. And then now it's gone to where, you know, she's got that full team, and yet she'll still take the initial call from everybody she can and then hand it off and do the referral to the team. So this BDR model with a good LOA, it can work.
Well, and Coach Brad Bront in the chat said business owners work on the business, not in it. Be a business owner, right? And that gal you're talking about up north, she's a business owner, right? 75 transactions in a month. That's a business owner right there. So if you want to be the business owner, perfect your business, and then bring those BDRs in, right, and ramp it to the next level. Sorry for cutting you off, Mike. I just had to give Brad a shout out because what a great quote.
Dude, that is a great quote. I was just thinking, just kind of dawned on me as we've talked about these two roles today, is that the BDR role itself, in my experience, very much shatters two very popular misconceptions that loan officers have in our industry. It's popped up a lot in my coaching career. One is that we need to know our guidelines inside and out. Kind of piggybacking off of Pedro's question earlier, as a BDR or even as a loan originator, it's okay to not know all the answers. People will work with you if you're willing to get them the answers and build a real relationship, right? Provide value to them, stay in touch, right? Communicate great, right? People will work with you even if you're not the loan wizard, because I'm certainly not. And on the other hand, there's a misconception about I can't pass my files along, right? My agents, my clients, my leads, they want to work with me. Right? They reached out to me. I can't let go of control and trust an assistant. That's a big misconception as well, right? Like I'm practically 0% involved in any of the transactions I've ever done with my mom or here at Premier now that I've started. And that's okay because people trust that the person that I'm referring to is taking great care of them as they are. And we're closing loans on time and treating them great, right? And that's all the agents want. They want their commission check on time. That's all borrowers want, is somebody that's going to be a professional and take them to closing and make it as smooth of a process as it can possibly be. We're not as important to the process as we think we are. So just like, I don't know, it just kind of hit me today. There's two misconceptions there, that we need to know programs and products and guidelines inside and out to earn trust from agents. Otherwise, we can't even reach out to them. Totally not true. And B, we can totally delegate and pass our files along as long as we have a competent, skilled, experienced team to back us up, right? With that caveat, of course.
Here's where my mind goes. Mike, are you the brand? Are you the front-facing person that people come to know, like, and trust, and then hand it off to the actual LO, or is the LO the brand, or both?
Both. Yeah, it's both because my loan partner also brings in their own deals, so they have separate relationships that as they bring in their own transactions and close those are separate from my commissions and business, right? So we'll both get paid out on the deals I bring in. So I'm the brand, I'm the face for my business. He's also the brand and face for his own, but assists me on the deals I bring in, if that makes sense. So both of us, for sure.
100%.
Yeah, so that's why, like right now we're looking for, additional loan officer assistants who are looking for this type of relationship because, Faris Faraj, the owner of Premier, I think he's like one of our top loan officers of the year. And yet he does about one event a month or two events a month with his local realtors. And then he has a team that handles his deals for him. And, sometimes those loan officers are ready to spread their wings. If Colby ends up being that guy that spreads his wings and, he's doing 4, 5, 6 a month and he's like, hey, Mike, I just can't take care of you anymore. You've got to have those people in reserve to bring on board to the team. And, fortunately, the model that we've built here at Premier supports that kind of model. He was a big core follower, a big MMA follower, and he's implemented a lot of the tools that both of the coaching organizations taught. In fact, we're doing another coaching event next week. So we'll all be together out in Las Vegas.
And the only reason I'm thinking of this is my wife made a flight from Sanford to Michigan today. And I'm thinking, okay, if the owner of Allegiant Airlines was flying the plane, there would only be one plane flying, right? But there was tons of planes flying. So the owner of Elite, be the owner of, like Brad said, be the owner of a company and have a bunch of people out there selling for you, doing the sales activities, right? Flying the planes, doing the events, building a network, joining other networks. There's think about the power behind this, writing a small check to cash a big check. So you're going to make a little less, but you're going to have more freedom. You're going to have sales coming in all the time. Mike's bringing in deals left and right, building relationships left and right. I don't know what this means. That movement, but
it's left and right. That's what it is.
Left and right.
Left and right. Left and right. So, but I mean, you guys get this. So like, that's a cool. And if you like, all right, I'm not ready for a BDR because I don't have enough business. Be the BDR. Like, be your own BDR. Like, go do the work, do the activities to where when you're doing them on a daily basis, every single day, doing the things that if you know you do them, you will build more relationships, nourish more relationships, generate more referrals, get referrals from your past database. Then when you start getting the business to come in, then go look for that LOA or that BDR. Like, all right, now I'm ready for a BDR. And like, and finding a BDR is just like finding somebody that's personal. You meet somebody at a restaurant. Like, how many times you met somebody at a restaurant and go, man, that person, holy smokes, that is the bomb. And they're only working like 4 to 11. Have them do an event for you on their days off, or teach them the business and like let them show them how to grow their wings, spread their wings. And then if they want to, like, you know, like one of our people that are BDRs, if they want to be a full blown LO, done. Then we get them a BDR. See how you can scale this thing? So really cool.
Yeah,
really
the big thing is, you know, while you're out there, you know, if you are that BDR personality and you're that person, the other thing you got to keep your eyes open for and ask those relationships that you develop. Is there a really good loan officer technically that just is great, but they, you know, maybe they just you don't send them a lot of business because either they're not in your face or they're just not that personable with the realtors. And they might give you the names of, you know, somebody who's, you know, technically struggling, but they're technically excellent when it comes to doing the loans. Your title companies can help you find those people. Your systems that we use to look people up. You can look people up in your market and who's doing less than 2 loans a month. How long have they been in the business? Do they have hundreds of past clients that they've helped? Well, you know, let's pick up the phone and talk to those people and find out, you know, maybe they're the person that needs to, instead of going home and having to look their wife in the eye and say, did you get a deal today? And it's another no. You know, they can go home and say, yeah, Mikey sent me 3 referrals today, or whoever their partner is. And life can change. And all of a sudden you're making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 as a loan officer assistant. You know, why not change your life? You know, look at business a little bit differently. AI is changing the world. So could the BDR LOA relationship.
I was going to jump in real quick and say the materials are in the chat on
still
Zoom.
here.
Check that out if you guys want those materials. And then another you know, nugget from Jamal: consider your BDR a partner, not an employee. Allow them to be the star. LOs do not have to be on the forefront, right? Again, this goes back to, you know, be a business owner, right?
I love that. I love that. Jamal's dropping some gems today. You know, it's a great.
I already got his wife's. I think it's his wife's contacts. I already got her, so I'll be calling her. Hey, get you on the show. Like, well, I want to know more about that, so I'm excited. But hey, guys, we're at the bottom of the hour. I know that I want to let you guys go for the 4th of July weekend. Mike, Rick, Coach Rick, Devin Dubuque, man, you guys are amazing. Thank you for being here and being a part of the show, a part of my life, business partners. So love you guys as always. Keep doing what you're doing. Guys, if you have any questions, reach out to us. We're online. Just Google our names and we'll show up. DM us on Facebook. Make sure you're part of our private group on Facebook, which is facebook.com/groups. Do I even have it? I don't think it. Facebook.com/groups/MLO live show. So find us there. And then if you guys want to watch the replays, I do have, this takes you directly to the channel. It's MLOlive.com/YouTube. It takes you right to the MLO Live channel, MLO Live Show channel that shows all the recordings. This one's already up there. It's already streaming live right there right now, but then you can go back and watch any of them that you want that we've done over the last couple of weeks, especially the last 3 weeks are there. So, all right, guys, Devin, without further ado, Rick, Mike, everybody have a safe, exciting, fun 4th of July weekend.
See everybody next week.
See you guys.